Order. Thanks for patience. 6:06 today. Where's my
Cheat sheet.
my cheat sheet, my script?
You don't have it memorized by now?
No, I don't. Binder labeled public copy board materials is available for public review at the table entering the room. Meeting agenda is also available there. Public can also access board agendas by visiting rrps.org. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let the record indicate that all members are present this evening. Tim, we were gonna remove, before I do a call for the approval of the agenda, we're gonna remove 5.1. Should we just leave it as it is and put you as the presenter instead of Maria?
Okay,
Is that fine?
yes, that's all.
Okay. Okay, with that, that's the only edit I have. With that being said, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second. Second by Westby, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Visitor input, we had one sign up ahead of time. Paul?
Good evening, directors. My name is Paul Peltier. Live in Virginia here with our family and our 4 children who attend Rockridge Public Schools. I want to just start off by saying Happy Public Schools Week in Minnesota. It has been a declaration. There's been an executive order to that effect. So we're going to celebrate all of our public schools. And I can't really think of a better way to do it than by celebrating a great hockey win for the Rockridge Wolverines over our nemesis, the East Greyhounds. So, you know, that cake isn't going to eat itself. So someone will have to help them somewhere along the line. I want to give a big kudos to Mrs. Forsman and the arts community here in Rockridge, as well as the career academies on the technical side, as well as the culinary students. Had the opportunity to take my whole family on a Friday night date. And so just for those of you who don't know, Friday night is pizza night at the Peltier household. And we all flop and we have like really crappy baked pizzas and we just watch movies. But instead, we came out to Rockridge High School, to the Cleveland Cliffs area up there in that commons, and we enjoyed a first ever magical dinner. And it was really cool. And I want to say a special shout out to those staff that were involved in trying something new. They took a risk, they did a big thing, and they tried it in a new way. So all the culinary staff, all the culinary students, all the tech staff, all the tech students, and the music department as well. It was interesting for me as a former teacher to see everybody pitch in and try something different, to try something new, and they packed that thing. And if you weren't there, it was absolutely 100% stuffed to the gills. And that was really cool to see the type of community engagement that drove, and to see the kids step up into those roles, whether they were cooking in the kitchen, whether they were filming, or whether they were on stage in front of everybody. So I really want to just let you know that it's interesting to me when I see people try something they've never done before. I think sometimes there's a risk of falling on your face. That didn't happen. They really gave those kids a chance to shine. And I, as a former teacher, just want you to know that I appreciated that. My daughter is in 7th grade and she got a chance to serve, like she was one of the little serving wenches or whatever you want to talk about. And she had a great time. She's looking forward to doing that in the future when she gets to be a big kid in the high school. So kudos on a good first run, and to all the staff involved too. So thanks for supporting them in that effort as they try new things in this new school that we've created. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
That's awesome.
Anybody else like to, from the audience, like to address the board? Holly?
Holly Sarkin, I know you won't answer questions, but when you come to agenda item 12 under the consent agenda, I hope that it will be explained how this program of installments for online curriculum will be working, how much the total cost is, first of two installments of $150 per teacher for online curriculum. And it would be very interesting and good information to know how many kids are in the online program, how many are our students that are already in our district, would be or will be coming to Rockbridge anyway, how many are outside students, and if it's generating money, if it's a net loss, if it's a net gain in cost, and questions like that. So I hope that'll be explained.
Thanks.
Thank
you.
Anybody else from the audience like to address the board? Moving on to the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Ritter,
Or,
support by Lotiger.
I'd like to remove item 12 for discussion.
We can discuss it now if you want.
Sure.
Is that fine?
Yeah, so we had someone in, audience ask some questions that I think were very valid, so I'm wondering if maybe we can answer them. As far as, how many installments, is it just the 2 for our teachers, or is it gonna be more than 2 installments? I guess was the first
And
question.
even how many teachers, I guess, too.
Yeah, how many teachers? And if there's.
How many students are
How
there in
many-
the online?
Right, and if we're gaining any students, or if it's just our own, and if there's a net loss or net gain, I guess.
Yeah, when I looked at that at home, I saw the teacher's name, so I was kind of questioning how many times, they're gonna even get that. I think, was it
Stipend.
150? Yeah. Or is it a one-time thing, or?
So, members of the board, would you like me to go into explanation now?
Sure.
So what this is, this was, what was happening last year is we had kids who were leaving us and they were going online. Sometimes it was for one course, sometimes it was for all courses, the entire thing. So we talked to the teachers about, is there a way that we can keep more of those kids here, especially if they want just 1 or 2 courses. So, because when they go and they take one course somewhere else, you lose the revenue for that period that they're doing it, especially if they're going through not us, someone else. It's money literally going out the door. So we had an agreement with the teachers, that's why it's the MOU is there, to what if we kept the kids here? Because, for example, sometimes because of scheduling issues, there might be a kid can't take a certain course, but they really want the course. Sometimes there's a unique course that the kids want, it's not offered here for a variety of reasons. So what we did is, rather than having that kid go somewhere, they stayed here, they went through our teachers, and so our teachers are the ones who are helping the kids move through the program and move through the course. And so we came up with an agreement that if a teacher agreed to do this, that for each kid, this is above and beyond their normal teaching, they would get $150 when the kids started the program. And so the teacher has to volunteer to do this, which we had a lot of teachers volunteer to do. And so then, so that's what this payment is. Then we also came in agreement that, however, we want the kid to finish the course. Just starting it isn't good. And we want, because on online, some of the research, depending on how it's set up, isn't very good as far as kids who finish the course. So they need somebody prodding them. They need someone making sure the course ends. And so if once the kid gets to a certain point and the learner gets there, then the teacher receives the last installment, $150. So for a kid to take a course, you are paying a total of $300 to a Rockbridge teacher. And it's beneficial to us because one is the kid didn't go somewhere else. The learner stayed here, the student stayed here. Your teachers are the ones getting the money for making sure the student follows through the course. And so it was viewed as a win-win because if you're paying $300 to a Rockbridge teacher to make sure a kid finishes a course, the amount of money you're losing if that kid goes to a different online university far exceeds the $300. However, we will get numbers for you so you can see how many teachers, how many kids are going through it. And this is new. We have not done this. And that's why you're catching it too, because it's also new. And you've heard Scott Manny talk about this as far as it was coming. Well, it's here now. So we will get numbers for you to do this. If you don't want to act on this one, you certainly can delay until we get you some additional numbers for you to look at. But this was the agreement that we had with the MOU, which is why it's coming to you,
Is this per student?
Right.
per student.
Per student?
Yep.
So if a teacher has five students online, they're getting 1,500.
They could have. It could happen that way. But what was happening, and when you look at, yeah, the teacher's making a little extra money, but they're our teachers. They're not from somewhere else making the money. And so the money is staying home.
And we're not losing the money.
We're not losing the money.
And we're not marketing to outside students, outside the district yet, right?
No.
So these are just our kids, like,
Yep.
as we build.
But the district's not making the money, the teachers are making the money.
No, you still are making the money.
Because they're not going.
not going
You're not going somewhere else.
They go out, then we pay.
In simple math, look at it this way. There are 7 periods at the high school. You get, this is low, you get way more, you get $7,000 for each student who's at Rock Ridge High School. 7 periods, a class can take 7 different courses. So if the kid stays here, think of it as $1,000 an hour. So if you're paying a Rock Ridge teacher $300 to keep the kid there, you're still coming out better than if we allowed the kid to go somewhere else.
And again, this is just for, this is just for this school year or?
Yep, just now, what's happening right now.
Okay, so we would revisit this next year.
Well, it's in negotiations for
It's
the
in
cut.
negotiate, part of negotiation, so.
Because this was a MOU.
Yeah.
I'm fine with this, where it is right now, for this year.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Reports 5.1 Indigenous Education Update.
Oh, no, you're gonna throw me
Tim,
right under.
You have 3 minutes.
Okay, I was at their meeting this month. They're voting on compliance. They wanted more time. To vote on compliance, they're saying that we're in compliance with the parent group and the advisory group and everything. Not everything, but they set up 6 goals. Well, with the changeover from Emily to Maria now, a lot of paperwork got just lost or was not transferred to Maria. And so we sat and talked about, Scott was there with me. We went through all 6 areas and just so you have an understanding, like number 1 was that more students will start PSEO and do online. Well, we jumped on that one right away. Scott and I were saying, we're trying to keep our kids in school rather than having them go out. So they understood that when we went through several of the other ones, and some of them were doing an excellent job, and others, they want to give us some parameters so then they can vote for us in compliance. Being in compliance means that we get money from MDE for our Indian Ed program. So that's why I asked the chair if we could have will it be a special meeting, Noel? A special meeting. They're going to get us they have 6 in the past goals that they wanted. They're going to break it down to 3 or 4 and say, this is what we would like to have as our goals for next year. We'll vote that you're in compliance, and now we're going to start fresh and start over. I heard things at this meeting and I've been the India Ed advisor on the advisory group for many years, and I did not know some of the things that were happening and not told to the school board. So I broke it down on they're an parent advisory group. They talk to Maria, who is the director. Maria then talks to Scott or Noel, and then it comes to the school board. And I said, Scott and I are new to hearing some of these things, and he's been in 2 different buildings over these past years also. So that's why we're asking for a special meeting, so that they will say that they'll be in compliance, and we'll still next year get funding, and we'll start fresh with a new set of goals and parameters.
When will they find out if they get approved? If
Why we have to do it, so March 1st is when they have to apply for their grant.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna come out and say that they're guaranteed a grant. Most of the time, schools our size that have Indian Ed, Indigenous programs get the grant funding that they asked for, so.
Yeah, so given their deadline of March 1st, we'll call a special meeting for Friday, the 27th at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
We can all try to attend. Shouldn't be,
No, I told them that we would possibly need the information as soon as Wednesday or Thursday. So they're down there working on their goals to send us.
Yeah.
Maria will get it to Noel, and all of us will get it so that when she comes on Friday to explain it, then we'll have a better idea of what they're actually looking for. So.
Okay.
so that'll be the only agenda item for that meeting. It's just heard. Should be.
Yep. I thank you, and I apologize for being late, but I thought it was essential that I stayed there and talked to him, or we would be in jeopardy of losing some funding here.
Thank you, Tim. Any discussion on that at all, or moving along?
4 o'clock the 27th, correct?
Yep. 5.2, North Star Elementary Principals Report, Rashina.
Good evening, board members, and happy School Board Appreciation Month.
Thank you.
I am here to report on North Star. I haven't been here for a while now, so some of the previous things that have been going on and current, I should say previous and current that are still going on. We've had our 5th grade that has gone skating. The ITMEC has been generous enough to let us come out down during the day. We've gotten in a couple different groups skating down there. 6th grade has been out to Giants Ridge skiing twice. All of our 6th graders have that opportunity to go out skiing, and I know at least one of those trips was fully funded by the Parkview North Star PTO. So kids did that for free. They didn't have to pay any of that for at least one of them. I don't know if any of you were lucky enough to make it to the North Star for the Rock Ridge girls basketball game, but that was phenomenal. We had a basketball game during the day. I think it started at 1 o'clock against Hibbing, where the Rock Ridge girls came. And I don't know, I probably should have put earplugs in because it was so loud. The kids were so excited to cheer for those girls between Josh getting it set up with Hibbing coming. I know that Scott had been working on it since last year to get the team there. Just the custodial staff, just trying to get everything pulled together. The tech team was there, the high school tech team, but they took our 6th grade tech kids and our 6th graders got to film the game with them, incorporated them. And then our 6th grade band was the pep band. So, and they did a phenomenal job. Julie had them playing a couple different songs and it was great. I mean, they had a lot, it was a lot of fun. And fun to be a part of. I know the basketball girls really enjoyed the excitement to it, and at one point I'm like, okay, shh, and the ref is like, it's okay. I'm like, it's really loud, but it was a lot of fun. So thanks to all that were part of that and getting that to the North Star for our kids. Currently, our teachers, they finished up their winter benchmark testing that we do 3 times a year, and have kind of regrouped some of our kids to get ready for the MCA testing, and they're really hitting it hard trying to prepare them for that MCA testing. I'm hoping to see some good scores coming out of our MCA testing. I know that weighs heavy on the teachers' minds, but I feel like they're doing a really good job preparing for that. So we're also in the middle of the I Love to Read month at North Star. This year, Lillian, who is in charge of our I Love to Read month, has it as a jungle theme. The students have already surpassed their first goal. I told her she didn't set it high enough because now I'm getting pied in the face. Yeah. But they're looking to double that, and if they double it, we're gonna give them another, reward or something like that. They're gonna choose that though, so we're working on that right now, giving them a survey on what they wanna do if they double their, goal. North Star Credit Union also came in, they brought their Yeti that came in to read for us. They sponsored our I Love to Read month, through the PTO with some funds, which was very nice, we thank them. And we, got our book vending machine up and running for I Love to Read month. We've had it. It was kind of a process to get it in place, fill it with the books and get it going, but if you remember, that book vending machine came through US Steel and the Reading Champions program, which we're also doing this year. So it started last year. We were the only school within, I guess outside of the Pittsburgh area that was doing it, and the only one in Minnesota here. And they earned a book vending machine. So we chose to do that again. Our third graders are in the middle of that, counting how many minutes they read, I think. And US Steel and the Pittsburgh Penguins are tracking us with that. They did have a little video out. I don't know, apparently I was a celebrity on a US Steel video about the Reading Champions program, but the third graders really love that. So, and the book vending machine has been a hit. It talks to you when you get your book. It's like sending you your book right now. So it's kind of nice and it's exciting. It's all lights up and new attractive thing for the kids. And then lastly, we have a couple things coming up to the North Star. We have the Little Opera of the North. I know that Miss Collins and Miss Keeman did this last year, but that's coming again to the North Star on March 5th, which is next week. The 2 4th grade classes, they're going to participate in it, but it's open to, I believe, 2nd through 6th grade. Like our other students are going to go and watch it. It's not something that's open to the public, but our own students get to come and watch. And I believe the parents of those kids that are participating get to come and watch. And then we also have, and I forgot to write the name of it down, but the Exploradome coming from the cities to our North Star and to Parkview. I know I'm not talking about Parkview today, but they're coming to do some space things for our 6th graders coming up towards the middle of March. So, and then we start, our PTO is doing the Glow Run again to see how that goes as well this year, which starts towards the end of March. So, you know, I'm talking a little bit ahead, but I don't get to come back for a while. So, any questions for me?
Any questions for Sheena?
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Next up is the superintendent report, Dr. Schmidt.
Thank you, Director Yuhan. A couple things to update the board on. The first one, the sale of the Gilbert property is falling through. So the individual who was attempting to purchase it ran into some difficulties with financing it the way it was. And so we will be relisting that property. So I just want to update the board that we'll be looking for another buyer for the Gilbert property. Second thing to update the board on is that, just so you know, we are meeting with the teachers, elementary and high school, talking about student behavior. How can we make those things better? How can we improve the systems? What can we do? And so we've kind of broken it out into separate high school and elementary because the issues are just a little bit different. And so we'll be continuing to meet with the teachers, and teachers have been great to work with on how can we help systems so things are going better in all of our buildings. We're also meeting with a smaller teacher group to start looking at the teacher evaluation system. The evaluation system, we're using Charlotte Danielson. We've been using it for a long time. This even predates my arrival up here. And so we're looking at to see, is there a better system? Is there one that makes more sense for what's going on? And so we're just taking a look at that. What are the options? We reduced it to 3, Marzano, Class, and then should we make our own? And so that's kind of where we are, just updating you that something might be coming down the road as far as a recommendation to do on that one. And then the last thing, just want to keep reminding the folks and everyone, we have a second roundabout coming this summer sometime. They still are on time and on target to start working that second roundabout, which would be really close to White Cedar Drive and Progress Parkway. So they're, MnDOT and St. Louis County is telling me there is room there. There's going to be 2 roundabouts. You're coming up Progress Parkway that folks are going to need to navigate and go through, but they believe the traffic will go better and faster. We have $7 million of the road that goes to the Gilbert Road. We need another 14, so we're working with our politicians and our lobbyists to try to secure that. This is a bonding session, so we're hopeful, but so we're still looking at it because we need another 14 million to connect the road. If once that road gets connected, and this is important, it includes a little spur to the back of Laurentian. So on the south end of Laurentian, if this happens, then we can open up just on the south, it's a utility road right now. City of Evelyn owns it, but it's not a road. So if we can make that a road, we can have traffic go through. That'll help traffic immensely when kids are turning and staff are turning into the high school and during events, because then we can shoot them right out that south road past Laurentian. So that's also part of the that $14 million that we're trying to acquire. And as amazing as it sounds, the end of the year isn't that far away, and we're starting to look at systems and what we need to do that. Not that I want to put a damper on any activities going on right now, but we are looking at systems coming up and the end of the year coming in, what we need to do to get ready for the next school year. So just those are things that I have to update the board right now. And that's it, unless the board has any questions.
When is the projection for the date, or if it started, if you got the 14 million for that roundabout area?
This is what is called a shovel-ready project. So if we did get the 14 million, they could do it this summer. They could start work on it because they're gonna put the roundabout in and they're gonna create the spur that's gonna start the road going south to the Gilbert Road. Then they're gonna stop it if we don't get the 14 million. So if they get the 14 million, they're telling me they can keep going. And they're ready to go with it. Since it's shovel-ready, there's no reason why they couldn't start on it this summer.
But the roundabout's coming, whether there's 14 million or extra or not.
Right.
Yep.
So my understanding is that roundabout will direct Laurentian traffic toward Laurentian, and only high school will go up toward White Cedar, correct?
When the rest,
When it's all done,
when it's all done, yes, people will have the option of doing that.
one or the other, so it'll help the traffic flow.
It'll help a lot.
Yeah.
Will it be done by beginning of school?
The whole road?
The roundabout?
If we get the roundabout, yes, they're telling me the roundabout will be done.
Okay.
I don't know about the entire road because that's a much bigger project because of the rock and everything that they will have to go through.
Rock and wetlands and more rock, more wetlands.
Wetlands.
Lived it.
Perfect.
Anything else, Dr. Schmidt? Okay, moving along, treasurer's report. Can I get a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
Motion by Bonner,
I'll second.
second by Westby. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Consider approval of the 26, typo there, 26-27 course catalog for grade 7 and 8.
I make a motion.
Motion by Bonner,
Support.
support by Lotiger. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Consider approval of literary services for 26-27.
I need explanation.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Culver Dahl,
Second.
second by Rudin. Discussion for explanation.
Here's what's happening on the literacy. The state of Minnesota created a law, it's a great law, by the way, that we in the schools are paying and they gave us some dollars to have way more emphasis of a literacy pre-K-12. And so they're giving you money to have your staff trained on literacy. Part of what has to happen is we have to have a literacy specialist. We need a literacy coach, and that's right in the state law. We get funding for doing this, but last year, unfortunately, we had to cut the curriculum director who was doing the literacy component. So we hired through the service co-op because they have these folks, and this is part of the role they've been assigned to. So we need a literacy specialist to help us out. So that's what this is. So it's complying with the state law, and this individual works with our teachers on, okay, you've got a cluster of kids who aren't passing the test. How can we help you? How can you work them? This goes all the way kindergarten, all the way to, especially to 8th grade and beyond. What can you do in the classroom to help when you have these kids in your classroom who are not passing the test and who are struggling? So that's what this is, to get help as for literacy for our teachers to work with the individual.
And how much will that position cost us?
It's nothing, because you're getting money from the state of Minnesota right now to.
Totally covered.
Yes.
But that's probably temporary this year or whatever, the first.
Well, we are hoping it's not temporary, but most schools, once they really dig into the literacy like we are, we're quickly realizing it's not enough because of how many kids we need to get up to speed and be able to pass the test. And so they're doing well on grade level in literacy. So a lot of schools are struggling with how to really make this work so we can get kids up to par. So we're hoping the state will continue providing funding for us to do what they're asking us to do.
And that's the other point, that we have to do it because it's, the state is telling us we have.
We do, but this is one of those deals where don't be surprised if you don't see me at the Capitol sometime saying, here's what's happening. We need funding it's a great thing. We love the law. We just want you to fund it.
Okay, and the Northeast Service Co-op, and the Minnesota Service Co-ops are all lobbying to have this continue because it's had great impact, and they know that it's helping schools, so.
Okay. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Meeting announcements. There's a special meeting on February 27th, Friday at 4 o'clock. And the next regular meeting will be Monday, March 9th at 6 o'clock. We're gonna do a study session before that, with a study session before that. So we're loaded up here. So, a special meeting on the 27th at 4, working session at 5 o'clock on March 9th. The next regular scheduled meeting will be March 9th right here at 6 o'clock. Good luck to the hockey team also, I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
And the rest of our teams that are gonna be
Girls basketball.
girls basketball,
They start Wednesday, right?
Swimming.
Swimming's already, yep.
Yeah, so good luck to all of our teams that enter postseason play. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Lotiger, support by Westby, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Lisa, are you going down, Dave?